All right. Good morning, everybody. Or good evening whenever this is landing. It's probably good evening when you're watching it. For me, it's still, well, it's noon. So what have we got here? We have three major arcana, a very imaginative page of cups, which is not surprising because, well, that is basically who we are. Imaginative, creative, young at heart, believing in the dream. That is basically who we are. I love the fact that there's a cup here and there's a cup here at the bottom with nourish. And I almost feel like it's saying nourish the dream. It is saying. Let's take a look at what we got going on this week. With the Judgment card comes in always as a kind of a card of looking at things, right? Of seeing where you've been, where you're going, where you are right now, and just kind of doing a cleaning, right? A personal house cleaning of what's staying, what's going. We've done this all before, right? We've taken stuff out and going, I'm keeping this, I'm getting rid of that, that's trash, all of that. The Judgment card, always that. It's about moving forward. We're always moving forward. We're never changing. We're never changing. We're always changing. We're never unchanging is the word I'm looking for. But the thing is at some points we do a personal reflection, a look back, a run through. That's the word I'm looking for, a run through. The Temperance card coming in after, that's really the point where we start deciding how we're going to rebalance the situation. How we're going to temper it to us. It's like temperance. I love it. I always think of tempering steel, making it exactly the way you want it, balancing it out exactly the way you need it so that it's both productive but also fit to you, right? When a sword maker made a sword, he'd have to make it completely tempered so it was usable, but also to fit the hand it was going to sit in. And this is it. This is what this is. The Magician, right here. Usually that's what he's holding, right? The sword? Absolutely. Or is it on the table? Let's see. He's holding the wand. Yeah. The sword is usually, I think, on the table. Doesn't matter. It's the magic. Okay? He's got all the tools. The tools have been provided, they've been tempered, they've been handed to him, but now he's got to decide what he's going to do with them. And then you have the Page of Cups. So it's following in on the dream. What dream are we going into? What are we doing with this at this point, right? Important things to be talking about and paying attention to. Because if you don't know where you're going, it's very hard to find a spot to begin to go. In other words, if you have no idea what turns you on, what lights you up, it's very hard to take the next step because you're just kind of, just floating in the in-between. The word nourish comes in here. This is definitely giving me that pomegranate and 9 of Cups sort of energy. There's a crow going by. I just heard him. I don't know if you heard him on camera, but he went roar, roar. That was fun. Is he coming back? It looks like he's coming back. Oh, and he's a big one. All right. So, yeah, no doomsday stuff. Crows are very intelligent, by the way. Okay. So, nourish, right here. The apple, the pomegranate, the strawberry, the nuts, the mushrooms, everything. They're here. They're bringing in so much, right? The books nourish the mind, nourish the heart, nourish everything. I think this is what it's telling you. You're on the cusp of something brand new, right? With the Judgment, the balancing, the Magician, and the bringing in of the dreams. Pick wisely. Nourish the soul. Nourish the heart. Make sure that it feeds you. It sustains you. The New Moon card, also indicating time for growth. Time to put it to Put it into the soil. You're on the cusp of something important. Important to this as well, and I know I said the word important 30,000 times, but at this point, the healing process. This is the healing card. Okay. This is where the flame, that wand, is coming in. You have the serpent, that's shedding of all sin, that's the judgment card. The heart card, the cups mentioned here, open with the eyes of the heart, the blooming, everything that is. The mushrooms, they're all being repeated. They were here as well. If you see them, they're right at the bottom here. They're being repeated as well. The nuts, the seeds, right here, they're being repeated. It's all tied in together. You can't have one without the other. And that is the message here. This in the healing is all part of it. There's different stages that need to happen. And here are the ones that I know. When you start healing things, you start, imagine emptying out, imagine your body being just a bunch of little cubby holes that are full of stuff, right? When you start healing, what you do is you're picking some of the things out of this cubby hole, getting rid of it, and throwing it out. You're just getting rid of it. You're going, no, I don't need that anymore, and you throw it over here, over there, just about anywhere. The thing is that a lot of people refill the cubby holes with things that maybe they're not sure of, and some people don't fill it with anything at all. This is the point. You have to refill with the things that fill you. You don't, because if you keep refilling with the same stuff you tried to get rid of, you're just repeating a pattern. This is where the judgment card comes in. What do I want to refill that cubby hole with? Do I want to put the stuff that I really want? I had a whole bunch of plastic junk, and now I have a bunch of tarot cards that I want to put in there. My spirituality, my tools, my divination. This is what I want to put in those spaces. The next one is filled with healthy relationships where unhealthy ones were there. The next space is a purpose in life. I want to do something that nourishes my soul. Okay? This is it, but the healing has to begin first so that you can take those things out and fill them with something different. If you don't, you're just repeating over and over again the same thing, just like I just did now by repeating this. But it's important to repeat, and I said the word important again. I've got to replace that word with something more poetic and beautiful. Let me check on that for you, and I will start doing it in the next reading. So, the Page of Cups, the dreamer. The dreamer in a world that is filled with intention and beautiful things, but also filled with a lot of things. It's the things that matter. It's the energies that you put in there. And don't be afraid to empty out the cubby holes again and fill it with something different when you're feeling that it's not really tuning in with you. We also get attached to things way too long and keep them around for much longer than we need, right? We try to make it fit. Even if it's something that we're passionate about but it's not exactly working, we try to do it anyway. We just keep trying, keep trying. Some of us keep trying, some of us give up too quickly. There's something in between, and if you really sit down and listen to yourself, you're going to feel the dissonance. To me, this is the big important tool, the dissonance between what you're trying to achieve and how your gut or your energetic body feels. If it feels off, you have to check in with yourself and see, is it something that is based of fear, or is it a real signal telling you that maybe you should be moving on to something different? Maybe fear keeps you where you are too as well. You have to make sure to keep that in mind. Anyway, for whatever it is, this has to do with the Judgment card. It's the first card that came in. It's the one telling you, check in with yourself, check in with your fears, check in with the old programming, check in with what needs to be cleared out, what you're putting back in there, if anything. And don't be in a rush to put anything in there, but the things that you do start putting in there, make sure they're going to grow, they're going to bring balance to you, and they're the magical tools that you want. This is all a shedding and repurposing everything. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next reading.